Right then, welcome back. This time, the second part of the Superbike 2000 DLC, the Millennium Superbikes chapter. 5 events, and the plan was to use as many of the new DLC bikes as I could, but I dropped a clanger and I didn't use the Yamaha R1 came in the pack, so I do apologise. First event, Cadwell Park on the 04 ZX10. An absolute monster of a motorcycle, caused all sorts of consternation when it was launched. Too powerful, too fast. It's a monster. It's a really nice bike and I'd love to have one. Cadwell Park, bit front endy, need a bit of support on the front end, big braking areas. Temp 1, setup was wrong, not right, understeering everywhere, getting on the gas, back end out, on the grass, down we go. So had to make a quick setup change, took a little bit off the front spring, left everything else the same because it wasn't far off, and we go again. Let's see what happens. One down. Bike wasn't quite right, setup's not quite there, tyres weren't warm enough, it's not far off. Bike feels strange, it's a bike I'm going to have to spend a bit of time with, take the time to get it set up. I think it could be really quick, but it's going to take a bit of investment to get there. Next up, Monza GP circuit, another 5-lap race. This is where I should have used the Yamaha, and I didn't. because I was desperate to use the Desmosedici RR. Absolutely desperate. It was the most ridiculous motorcycle ever when it came out. How dare Ducati, the upstarts of MotoGP, launch a road legal version of Casey Stoner's bike? Well, they did, and it's an absolute animal. And if you've ever been near one with a naughty exhaust on it and heard it running, they are just so insanely loud. It's Monza, it's fast, long straights. I was kind of hoping the bike would just decimate everything else that was there, and it basically did. I do struggle to set bikes up here. In my mind, the front end needs a load of support because of the breaking into the chicanes, but the game doesn't seem to agree with that, so there's a little bit of a fight between what the game wants and what I think the game needs. The bike's a beast, it sounds awesome. Enjoy. Two down, 3 to go, 2 golds. Properly quick bit of kit. 15-second winning margin by the end. So yeah, if you've got a race at Monza and you can use the Desmosedici, do it. It will annihilate everything. Third event, time attack, Sugo. It's the fast course. I like the fast course. I'm not overly keen on the GP course. The chicane halfway around the final corner is just awful. It's not nice. I struggle with it massively. Went with the 08 Fireblade. It was really good at Donington. Sugo Donington, similar layouts. Long fast corners, straights. Bike was set up. I just thought we'd dive straight in and give it a go. And I'd say that went pretty well. Yeah, 7 seconds under the target time, straight in, not really fettling the bike, that's not bad. That's a fairly solid first attempt. So 3 down. This is where things got a bit interesting. Algarve, Portimao to most normal people, on the 1098R race bike, which you will notice is missing rather a large chunk of metal from underneath the tail end of the bike because Milestone didn't bother putting an exhaust on it. When you look at the bike in the garage, it's just a big fat hole where the exhaust should be, so there's nothing there. Qualifying, I'd already done a 1:46.1. I was convinced there was a bit more time in the bike. The balance wasn't right. It's got a long wheelbase. I really should have propped the front end up a little bit and softened the rear just to give it a bit more balance. It was alright. Just, I was a bit concerned about the back end moving a bit too much pump over the bumps and when you're getting on the gas. But I ignored it. I just cracked on and ended up on a high 1:45 at the end of the lap. Race time. I was a little undecided over whether I should change the setup or just run the hard front tyre and hope that the hard front tyre would move some energy back into the rear. I should have changed the setup. Lap 5, last corner, 4-second lead, get on the gas and the bike just pumps from the back and I'm off and down, and second place goes sailing past. So best part of 10 minutes down the Swanee. Was a little bit frustrated. I knew I should have changed the setup and I didn't. I ignored that little niggle. I just went for the hard tyre. So just take a couple of clicks off just to calm the back end of the bike down. It was at that point there that I realised there was a rabbit away with setting the bikes up. There is a setup video coming. I'm just waiting for it to do what it needs to do, and I'll put it out as soon as I can. On the race, the changes made the difference. 5 laps Portimao on a Ducati race bike. Mega. Job done. 4 down, 4 golds, decent gap at the end, just that little change, hard tyre, couple of clicks on the back suspension just made the bike so much more usable. Last event, Road America, wet. Not one of my favourite courses, not a course that I know particularly well. I know which way it goes, I know where the corners are, but every single game you play has a slightly different version, so you have to relearn it for every driving game or whatever game you're playing. Went with the last bike in the DLC, apart from the Yamaha. I'll use that as soon as I can. The 08 race modified Fireblade. Stuck a wet setup in it, not too stiff, not too soft, somewhere in the middle. Wet tyres. Wet qualifying sessions, weird. Track is absolutely piss wet through at the start, drenched. So if you go out straight away, your lap times are shocking. So you've just got to either sit in the pits and wait and fast forward time, or just pound round and wait for the track to dry out. As soon as a dry line appears, just go for it. That's what I decided to do. This was, what, 6-7 minutes into the qualifying session, so I've already done 3, maybe 4 laps, and this was the one. Still struggled with the braking points. Bike was okay, setup seemed good. It goes as well. The move into a digital format for this motorbike has been really good. The engine seems to rev really freely, whereas some bikes don't. They feel like they've got socks stuffed down the exhausts. It was good. I don't know the track well enough, so I'm not 100% certain on where to brake. The left-hander at the bottom of this short straight, picking one of these braking markers on the right-hand side to brake, still struggle, massively struggle, but we got there, we set pole, and all was good. Race time, didn't bother changing anything on the bike. The track was wet, the setup worked. I'd already gone from a wet track onto a drying track, so I left it as it was. It was just a case of concentrating and hitting the braking points. And there we go, all 5 done. All 5 done, smashed, golds, sorted. It was a good chapter, 5 good events. It was a decent mix of tracks and bikes and conditions. It wasn't too samey. Next time we are going to do something that's been bugging me for quite a while. There is one race that I got silver on, the Millennium Cup, so I'm just gonna pick a bike and smash the 5-lap race at Donington National out. Thank you for watching, I really appreciate it. Don't forget to smash the like button. Stay safe. I'll see you soon. Peace.